Hey guys, and thank you for tuning in to a very special tutorial from Renda Studios. My name is Jesse Abercroft, the founder of Adobe Studios, and today I'm going to be going over a cool tutorial with you guys. Now guys, keep in mind this is going to be a quick tutorial. My actual tutorial series isn't going to be starting yet, so this is not going to be a part of it. This is just off of requests that I've gotten because what I created was pretty cool. So what we're going to be creating today, if we can bring this in here, is this. It's gonna be like a cinematic blob. It's on my my portfolio. It's actually named Cinematic Blob, but it looks pretty freaking cool. I would say so myself. And you can't zoom in too much or you just lose pixels. But the whole idea of it looks pretty cool. And then not only that, you can actually create some pretty cool effects with it too. And that's what we're gonna be doing in Adobe After Effects. You'll notice that the pixels in this one are a little more square than normal. And yeah, so we're going to be creating some nice ripple effects like that, or if you just want to create a nice circle, you can do that too, but it looks much cooler like this. You know it does. Alright, so we're going to close that out, and we're going to go straight into it. We're going to create a new composition. Two ways you can do this. Let's see if we can... Yeah, two ways you can do this. You can go composition, you can go to new composition, or if you're in your project area, you can go straight to here to create new composition. Now we're going to name this, for the sake of the tutorial, for the sake of the tutorial. I'm going to do that right there. Make sure it's 10-second and 1 frames. You know, we always got to have that extra 1 frame in there for good luck. Alright. Now what we're going to do before we actually go into this, we're actually going to create a new camera first, because what we have to do is we're going to have to create like a depth of field or a perception. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep this camera 1. We're going to change this because it's usually on preset for 50 millimeters. We're going to change it to 35 millimeters. Hit OK. OK. We're also going to create a new light. This is very important for when you're creating something like this. So make sure you guys have this at a point light, nothing else. It has to be at a point light. Color is white, and then the intensity is 100%. We're going to do that. Okay, and then we're going to change the views to 2 view horizontal. See if we can do this here. And what we're going to do for this one is we're going to take the light and we're going to move it back and up. Because this one is our top side. So make sure you guys, this is on top. And we're going to move it up just a bit. And now you're ready to actually create the 3D object itself. Now, what you're going to need for this is a plugin called Element 3D. Now, 3D is made by Andrew Kramer over at Video Copilot. If you don't have it, make sure you go check him out and download their preset, because this is an awesome preset. Because it used to be before you couldn't create much 3D objects in Adobe After Effects. You used to have to go through Cinema 4D or 3D Studio Max. Now they made it extremely easy, and it actually works really well, and you can create amazing 3D works of art, as you've already seen in Adobe After Effects. So that same great feel of Adobe After Effects, you don't have to leave. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new solid, and we're going to hit OK. Make sure it's black and fills your frame, and we're going to take our Video Copilot and we're going to go take our element and drag it into here. Ooh, taking a long time. Uh-oh. Alright, now we have that loaded. What we're going to do is we're going to go straight into our scene setup. Whoop. Try it again. Let's go to our scene setup. And we should get this. And bring that down to here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our model browser and we're going to go to primitives. Let's bring this over just a bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down until we see round or sphere low. Here it is. Sphere low. You can also use this with as a box. Same concept applies for any object you use. We're just going to use a sphere low because it has a low poly count. And we're going to use this because it looks cooler and more fluid than the squares. Alright, so now we're going to go to our materials browser and we're going to choose a nice matte shadow look. Okay, actually we're going to go with plain. We're going to go with plain instead. And we're going to hit OK. And now you'll notice in our scene we have our new sphere. And it has the shadow to it because we included the the light source, so just keep that in mind. And we're also going to turn this into a 3D object. What? Actually, no, you don't have to turn it into a 3D object. I'm sorry. 3D elements. Haha. Alright, so what we're going to do to create the sphere from here is we're going to duplicate this a bunch of times, probably about 50,000 times. So that's why we chose something with a low poly count. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into group 1, and we're going to go into particle look. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the size of it. We're going to go down to, say, 0.5. Okay, now you won't even see it on here, which it'll be okay, don't worry, don't freak out, you did it right. We're going to change the color tint to whatever color you want, and the nice thing about Element 3D is if you choose something in a specific group, so say you assign all of these to group 1, if you just change the color in this one, it'll affect that entire group. So if you set 5 objects to group 1, it'll affect all 5 objects. So we're going to change this to a nice dark red color, because just red looks nice. You know, actually, let's not go with red this time. We're going to go with purple. I feel like a purple. I feel fruity today. Alright, once we've got that size and the color tint, what we're going to do is close that down, and we're going to go to our particle replicator. And we're going to do this, our particle count, we're going to change that and multiply it by 50,000. Yeah, 25,000. Okay, now you'll notice nothing has much really changed, but what you got to do now is you got to go to your replicator shape, and you're going to change it to a sphere. And then you'll notice this happen. Amazing, isn't it? It looks so cool. We're going to actually increase this. We'll go to 40,000. And what this is basically saying, in this sphere, it's made up and comprised of smaller spheres. The one we already chose, it's replicating that into a spherical shape. So you have a whole bunch of spheres making a sphere, and if it was in a sphere video, it would be a sphereception. How cool is that? Anyways, guys, we're gonna move on because I just made a really crappy joke and I can't believe I said that. We're gonna go here, and we're looking for the scale shape, and we're gonna increase this to 20. So we're gonna fill up the frame. Okay. Awesome. Now, next thing we also have to do is to get the waviness. We're going to be aiming for the waviness, which is really easy to do now. What we got to do is go to particle noise, or not particle noise, position noise. And we got to increase the amount. We'll stopwatch both our evolution and amount, and we'll go straight to the very end. And we're going to increase the amount. We'll go, say, 25. Okay, let that load up. You already see some nice ripples in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to change this to 2 because I wanted a very nice slow look, kind of wavy, give it a nice feel and a nice texture to it. So now I'm going to change this from full resolution to about third, because while we're in editing mode, we don't really have to see to the best quality. Let's pre-render this real quick. Let this pre-render out for a second, and what we come up with is just a tiny little portion of it where you can actually start to see where it starts to ripple up. See how it does that? Nice and wavy and fluid. You can increase the amount. You can always do that. And then that'll obviously increase the ripples that you're going to get. Or you can also increase the evolution too. The evolution will definitely increase that. So what we're going to do is about halfway through this, we're going to change it. Actually, we're going to go to the very end, and we're going to change the ripple amount. We're going to change that to, say, 7. Or not 87, just 7. Evolution. And then the amount, we're going to change to, say, 60. Now you got this really funkin' looking thing, huh? And it'll progress over the whole time. So what you got to do too is, if you want to, you can also start it out at 60%, and that's probably what we're going to end up doing. So we're going to start it at 60%, and we're going to start And then that way the evolution will just give it the ripple and the waviness. Oh, cool, huh? It's cool. And you see the little spheres in here, and you know, you can always change that, and you can always get rid of the spheres by adding more polys. So say we'll add in let's just add in 100,000 polys. And that's really going to crank it up. You know, you're going to get so much more texture and so much more feel out of it. But there's always one more thing you can do, and you know, I don't mean to blow your mind here, but what we can do is we go down here to our render settings, turn on ambient occlusion, and then we can increase the intensity. And now you have much more shadowing and tint to it. But wait, there's even more. What we can do here is we can turn on, and this is just a cool little thing if you want to just experiment. It's kind of going off the track here. If you want to change your scatter, let's see where it's at here. Scatter, scatter, scatter. Particle look. Okay, yeah, scatter. I'm going to change the scatter position. Alright, so now you have all these different balls. We're going to change this to about 5. Alright, now you guys are in for a little treat. We're going to increase the scale. We're going to go 70%. Now, you have this weird field, right? And if we take the light source, come on, it's taking a bit to load here. Well, if you take the light source, we don't even have to change the light source. If you take your camera that we created, take your transformation, or your camera options, and you turn depth of field on, that gives you a whole new option to look from. Now, it's on like Donkey Kong. Change this, and then we'll change the focus distance. We'll say change it up nice and close. Let's go about 600 pixels. And then we'll change this to a 3D. What? Oh, there you go. So now you guys have this amazing image that you can go from there. But that's just if you want to. And if you want to turn your depth of field on, you want to go crazy, you can do that. But anyways, we're going to get back to the original, what we were doing and sorry, I kind of went off track there. We're going to go up to our scatter and change that back to 0. That even looks cool. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change this back down to 20%. And there you go, guys. You know, and in the original video I showed you, we threw in, you know, optical flares to give it some nice lighting that would go with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up optical flares, and this is just something extra if you want to do. Everything from here on out is pretty much a little extra, and this is the last thing I'm going to show you. So we're going to change this and go to screen, bring this back up here, and look at that. I mean, using just the default light makes it look pretty cool, doesn't it? That's, you know, that's something really cool. Anyways, guys, my name is Jesse Gaberkoff. Thank you guys for watching this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys like more, you can always visit me at adigitstudios.com. or follow my, or do the YouTube thing and the Twitter, whatnot. Uh, but that's it, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. There's going to be a 10-part tutorial coming out soon, going from the basics to After Effects to the more advanced in After Effects. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all later.